What's going on? It's Instructor Mike. All right. Today we are going to talk about police and the rule of law. Now, I said I was going to kind of turn my channel into a bit of free college type thing. And that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. So come on in. Come on in. What's going on? Of course, I'm going to use the textbook that I used when I was a criminal justice professor, and that's Intro to Criminal Justice by Larry Siegel and John Worrell. So come on in. Come on in. Go discuss a few things. Discuss a few things. Discuss a few things. What's going on, you all? What is going on? All right. Any use of any material is pursuant to Title 17 United States Code, Section 107, copyright law for fair use, criticism, teaching, whatever the case may be. What's going on, y'all? Bro, it is hot as heck. But before we get into that, we are also going to talk about the situation that occurred in Chicago. Do you all remember? Hold on, let me put the picture up. Hey, Deanna, what's going on? You said I'm glistening extra today. It's not that I'm hot. I got this oil that was on me. That's God. Shouts out to Freedom Steel. What's going on, man? What's going on? JFB talking about some of that cocoa butter. Damn cocoa. Well, it might be. What's going on, Erica? Talking about some of that cocoa butter. Yeah, you should. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Let me find it. Do me a favor. Just get the likes up, please. Get the likes up. What's going on? Give me 1 minute. I gotta find something. Gotta find something. Okay. There we go. That's what I wanted. Nope. That's the tab I want to share. All right. So, well, hold on for a minute. Let me get back to what I was trying to get to. What's going Joe Rooks, what's up, man? What's up, buddy? How are you, Karen? What's going on? What's going on? Y'all do me a favor. What's up, Sissy? Go over to Freedom Steel's page and go to Freedom Steel's page if you are interested in a lot of content relative to the Illinois Assault Weapons Ban and the Protect Illinois Communities Act and the progress of that case. Gone ahead and gone ahead and follow that channel. Freedom Steel, great guy. Illinois gun guru. Definitely want to give him a shout out. So we're going to talk about, do I have Saturday classes? Yes, I do. Give me 1 minute. Let me go ahead and get that going. What happened to midweek? You said new video coming out now about, tomorrow about right to repair. Okay, good deal. Good deal. Please go on over there and follow Freedom Steel's page. Do me a favor. Please get the likes up. Please get the likes up. That does definitely help the algorithm so we can go ahead and get things going. You all remember this situation right here, right? Those of you all who remember, no problem, Freedom Steel. Anytime. All right. I don't know how many of you all remember the situation. How could you forget? Where the mother and the son at Maxwell's Express on the 11600 block of Halsted in Chicago, where the young lady in the middle, Carlisha Hood, was brutally assaulted. Let's call facts, call balls and strikes. Brutally assaulted by the man in the video, last name Brown. Forgot his first name. Nevertheless, her son shot him in her defense, and he died on scene. Because of the evidence provided to the Cook County State's Attorney at that time, they both were charged with I believe, first-degree murder, and she was charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Now, having been a former detective and having been involved in a felony review process, I can almost assure you that the evidence that the state's attorney had to go on at the time was what evidence they did have at the time and the locked-in testimony of his girlfriend, the man who assaulted Miss Hood. But then video came out that showed the brutal assault, showed how many times he told her to leave and she did not, and she didn't have to leave, okay, regardless of what other people think that she should have. She didn't have to, right? He could have walked away, but he chose not to, and what happened took place. So you all remember that the charges were dropped, and you remember that she filed a lawsuit after the charges were dropped. Well, I'm here to tell you that lawsuit has been, right, they filed a request to dismiss the lawsuit. They filed a request to dismiss the lawsuit. So those of you all who've been following me, you know, and this just came out today, you know that I said that them filing that lawsuit was the dumbest thing that they could have ever done. First of all, let's talk about the fact that you very rarely get off on murder charges, right? Well, I don't want to say very rarely, but it's highly unlikely you get off on murder charges. But even if they did have weak evidence, right, we know that there are cases where there has been evidence and a person has still been convicted of that, right? And what did I say? I said, and I'm sure I wasn't the only one who said it, I just don't know who else said it, right? But I said that them keeping those charges, or not keeping the charges, but keeping the lawsuit, would force the Chicago Police Department to do an even thorough job of investigating that case, where they could find new information or evidence to bring up those charges again. Just because the charges are dismissed doesn't mean that in light of new evidence, they can't be brought back up on charges. And so if, in fact, it's the case, as it was the case, that State's Attorney Kim Foxx, buying through her first deputy or whatever the case may be, made the choice that in light of the new evidence and the calls of the community and the worldwide community and things like that to dismiss the charges, and you walked away from this with a reprieve. Now, some would argue, well, Mike, what do you think? What do you mean a reprieve? What do you mean a reprieve? That was a son defending his mother. Well, 720 ILCS Act 5, Section 24-9, the case for securing your firearms out of the reach of those who are unauthorized minors would disagree with you. She was a concealed carry licensee and may, in fact, go back to being a concealed carry licensee to this day, right? Or in the future. But she was a concealed carry licensee who had the right to have her firearm on her person, but she chose not to. She has every right to choose not to do so. But if you're going to take it off your body, you have to secure that firearm in a place where unauthorized persons are not able to access that firearm. In fact, Section 24-9 requires that you do so because her son was, in fact, an unauthorized minor. Now, Hector Lyons said, we don't even have stand your ground. That is not true. That is not true. I'm going to find that case law because I want to quote it, but I want to find it for you so I can put it on the screen. Matter of fact, let me go right here. Just bear with me 1 minute because I got the stand your ground statute right doggone here. I'm going to put it on the screen so that you can see it yourself because that is not true. We do, in fact, have stand your ground. Now, we do not have stand your ground by virtue of a state statute, but we do have it in old case law, and it's at the Illinois Supreme Court level. We do, in fact, have stand your ground. Okay? And I'm going to read it to you verbatim, and I want you to snapshot it so that you know. Now, just because we have stand your ground doesn't mean you have an attorney who is good enough, wise enough, strategic enough to be able to cite the statute or to cite the case law. But we do, in fact, have stand your ground. All right. So I'm going ahead and share this tab right here. Bam, bam, bam. There we go. Although Illinois does not have stand your ground as a statute, the state Supreme Court has held that there is no duty to retreat before using force in public, and Illinois law authorizes the use of deadly force to prevent the commission of a forcible felony, which is defined to include burglary of unoccupied vehicles. The case law is People versus McGraw, 13 Illinois 2nd, 249 and 256, 1958, and Hammond versus People, 199 Illinois, 173 at 182, 1902. Those are the two statutes, so to speak. Hey, thank you for the membership. I appreciate that. And by the way, please feel free to join this channel. I want to introduce a lot of content. After we get through talking about this, I'm going to go ahead and teach you all a class like I would if I was a college professor. All right. So thank you very much for the membership. I appreciate that. So yes, we do have stand your ground. You stand your ground. We do have that. Okay. Freedom Still said what we have is that we have never been a retreat state. That is correct. Okay. And matter of fact, I'm going to go you even one better, because I remember, oh, nope, go back. Nope, that's not that one. Okay. I remember this case. I'm going to stop sharing this one. Now I'm going to find this particular statute because I want to go to the direct statute itself. Or not statute. I keep saying statute, not statute. I'm in case law. I want to go to the direct case law, and I want to get you that specific passage where the Illinois Supreme Court says that specifically in the body of it, that we do have stand your ground. All right. And hold on. Your ground. I want to spell it right. Dadgummit. Give me 1 minute. Sorry, y'all. Yes, I remember that. Yes. Okay, so I remember this case too. Hang tight, y'all. Hang tight. Please bear with me. Please get the likes up. Please get the likes up. See, this is a good case right here, but I want to find the specific. Yes, there we go. Got it. Okay. Let me share this real quick, because this is in People versus McGraw. People versus McGraw. Sorry about that. Yeah. What's up, Marco? This is People versus McGraw. Bam, right there. People versus McGraw. Okay. I don't know if y'all can see this. I'm gonna blow it up just a little bit. Bam, 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 bam. All right, good. So this is in the case of People versus McGraw. The parties agreed that the established rule. Can you all see this? Nope. You can, but I'm gonna blow it up a little bit bigger. Right there. Good. Okay. The parties agreed that the established rule with respect to self-defense is that when a person is in a place where he has a lawful right to be and is unlawfully assaulted by another and put in apparent danger of his life or great bodily harm, he need not attempt to escape, but may lawfully, what are those three words that you see right next to it? Stand his ground and meet force with force, even to the taking of the assailant's life, if necessary or apparently necessary to save his own life or to prevent great bodily harm. And that's in Hammond versus People, 199 Illinois 173, and People versus Duran, 307 Illinois 611, which are both Illinois Supreme Court cases. And to this date, those cases have not been overturned by the United States Supreme Court, nor have they been overturned by the Illinois State Supreme Court itself. Right? They are the only ones who would be able to overturn this. Right? You said it was used in the case of McGraw, wasn't it? Yes, it was used in the case of McGraw. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. So I just wanted to point that out. Yes, Illinois does have stand your ground. Illinois does have stand your ground. Okay. So In the case of the mom here, in the case of the mom, yes, they did drop that lawsuit. And like I said, I'm going to end with this. That was the wisest thing that they did in this given situation, was drop that lawsuit. They should have never brought that lawsuit in the first place. You caught a reprieve. You caught a blessing. You got to take that on the head. You got to take that and just go live your life. Go do some great stuff. You got a reprieve. That's okay. It's all good, Hector. It's all good. You know what you know at the time. No shame, no judgment. But you got a reprieve. I honestly have to say, and I got to be careful when I say this, because I don't know, nor will I ever likely know, who were the people who motivated her to decide. If in fact that's the case, it could have been the case that the mom decided, I'm going to sue it. I'm going to sue them. I was hurt. I was this, I was that. But I found it strange. I found it very, very strange that after being released, because you have to understand the process, right? When the police respond to the scene, and they are the preliminary investigators. They gather the information that's given to them. They secure the scene first. They document, segregate or separate people, take out evidence markers, begin to, any bullet casings, try to catch evidence before it runs away, flies away, blows away, things like that. Put the yellow tape on the outer barrier, the red tape on the inner barrier. You got a lot of people, police officers on the scene that do their job. They, by that time, dispatch or squad, and OEMC has already put out the call to detectives, either Area 2, Area 1, Area 3, Area 4, Area 5. They respond to the scene. You typically see the homicide truck, command van, especially depending upon the length or the distance of the scene, stuff like that. And if there's multiple crime scenes, you got that big thing too. So crime scene protection and investigation is a huge thing. You got all those things going on. And then after all that stuff, right, or somehow in the middle of it, the Cook County State's Attorney Felony Review assigns a ASA who has to come out. There are some cases where, depending upon the case, you can call Felony Review, give them the information over the phone. They give approval, do your packets. This is suburban stuff. Do your packets, send it over, send the arrestee over to the lockup. They go before bond court. State's attorney does their proffer, typically from a felony 101 sheet, stuff like that. But for a murder type case, ASAs are coming out. ASAs are intimately involved with the detectives on this case. Chicago police or no police department, they're not the deciding factors on whether or not they get a person discharged. They surrender the information or give the information to the state's attorney and work with the state's attorney to, as a team, lock people into statements and things like that. And the state's attorneys are usually very great at asking for and requiring certain information because they don't like to lose with cases, and so sometimes what you have is what you have. I will tell you this, it is not uncommon to charge what you have and then continue to work the investigation throughout the discovery phase, the motions, pretrial motions phase, voir dire if it gets to that point, whatever the case may be. If it's a jury trial or bench trial, but it's not uncommon to work up the case after it goes past bond court, after it goes past preliminary. It's only probable cause required to arrest. Gerstein hearing versus with the Supreme Court, Gerstein versus Pugh. So if you all ever listen to bond court and you hear the judge says Gerstein satisfied, that is a probable cause hearing that is conducted pursuant to Gerstein versus Pugh, a United States Supreme Court case that says a probable cause hearing must be had by the judge to determine if there is probable cause to continue to detain the defendant and bond it over for trial. Then you've got the indictment from the grand jury, or the preliminary hearing, which is like a little mini trial of the evidence that the state expects to put on. Cross-examination takes place at the preliminary hearing, and then the judge finds probable cause to bond it over and assign the case to a felony trial judge. Saying all that to say, I find it odd that in her lawsuit that has now been dropped, she had Chicago police for intentional infliction of emotional distress and a wrongful investigation, stuff like that, but then eliminated the very ones who make the decision to charge, and that was the Cook County State's attorney. After all, they were the one who decided to let the charges go. So you got to be careful if you're going to decide to file a lawsuit against the police, because you could be walking yourself back into a situation where you find yourself arrested again. That can easily happen. So I'm saying all that to say this. What are some final thoughts before we get to what I was going to teach on tonight? Don't forget to hit that like, comment, subscribe button, all that great stuff. Final thoughts. If you're carrying a concealed firearm, right, carry it. 116th and Halsted is not, it's not a bad neighborhood, but it's not the best neighborhood. So if you're going to carry, right? 2, right, don't bite the hand that feeds you, in essence. They gave you a reprieve. You caught a huge blessing, because anybody else, had it been me in your situation, I'd probably still be in county right now. No more lives, no more nothing. I'd still be in county right now. But if it were me, I would have got up out of there. It would have been, I would have swallowed my ego. I'll be all the bitches, right? But I'm gone, right? I don't have time for conflict. My mom would have never put me in that scenario. So hopefully y'all learning a lesson from that. And they got to do with women power, stuff like that. Black power is just get your ass out of there. Right? Is get your ass out of there. That's what it is. Right? Because most people, that's the 4th lesson. I forgot what number we on. 4th lesson. Most people don't fight with their fists anymore. Most people fight with guns. Right? And you could have died. You could have died. Like that, for real. You could have died. That's not even, you could have died. Right? So not only did you escape with no charges, you escaped with your life. You could have died. Get out of there. It's not even worth it. Okay? I think that's all I had. That's all I had. So hopefully here we go. Don't know if it's true. Allegedly. We're going to say allegedly. Don't let other people be in your ear trying to talk you into filing this suit. So that, you see what I'm saying? Don't do that. Don't let other people be in your ear telling you, you know what? This is your time, to go ahead and file a suit so you can make that money. You see what I'm saying? Don't, I'm just saying. Thank you, Dale. I appreciate you joining as a member. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Always been a strong supporter of this channel. Thank you very much. All right. So we will wish her very well, fair winds and following seas if you're in the Navy, Bravos, whatever the case may be. I wish you well. I wish you well. I'm sure she ain't gonna watch this. Who am I? I'm nobody. But I wish you well. Wish your son well. Go on and live your life. You definitely got a reprieve, right? Stay up by the fast food joints late at night unless you're ready for some shit to go down. Because it is the case that shit could go down. You see what I'm saying? If somebody tell you they gonna whoop your ass, believe them. Maya Angelou said that best. If something shows you who they are, believe them. So you have to believe when somebody tell you gonna whoop your ass. Believe them. Because most people, they're about that. I mean, this ain't faith, the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen. Like, you got your ass whooped. And that was not cool. Right? You didn't deserve it. You did not deserve it. You did not deserve it. I'm never saying you deserve it. But if somebody tell you they're gonna do that, believe them. They're gonna whoop your ass for real. Okay. Here we go. Get up off this. All right. I wish you well, man. Here we go. There was a man here in the Dallas area that was arrested for shooting and subsequently killing a man who was robbing or assaulting a store clerk. He was recently cleared of charges after almost 2 years. After almost 2 years. You see what I'm saying? Like, people don't understand that. Thank you for that, Tessa. People don't understand that you can do everything right and still get falsely arrested. You can do everything wrong and not be arrested. You can do everything wrong and be arrested and be let go. You see what I'm saying? So why take that chance? Like, everybody, y'all get what I'm saying, right? I hope y'all get what I'm saying. I really hope y'all get what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, So let me go ahead and switch over. Let's have a lecture. You see a lack of DNA? 2 years, bro. Look, hey, that's the shame. You said the gun was registered, Tim. Look, they are quick to arrest you. Quick to arrest you. Slow to give you justice. Quick to arrest you. Slow to give you justice. Are you ready to sit in the cell while you're waiting for justice over something? Let's talk facts. You could have avoided. Sound off in the comments. How many of you have been in a situation that after that situation, you were like, man, this shit wasn't even worth it. It wasn't even worth it. Come on now. Come on now. It wasn't even worth it. Come on, we all have. Don't tell me I'm just the only one, man. You've been in a situation. Sometimes ego can be an extremely dead. It could be, look, I'm just saying. Drake 40, you said you're making a good case for why people should mind their business, even if you have your weapon. Yes. I'm just saying, because sometimes putting yourself in somebody else's business, you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. You got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. You got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. So it's just not worth it. It is just not worth it. It's not. You said Richard Kent said, nah, not me. Well, Superman, look, I get it. Okay. I get it. And Tessa, you said, and he waited for the police as well. Guess who pressed murder charges on him? Who? I'm curious. The police. You said the news is up his behind for the second interview, which he did not show up for because he wants to get away from all this. I don't blame him. I really don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. I don't blame him at all. I really don't blame him. I don't. All right. Let's go on ahead and get into what are your thoughts about this? Sound off in the comments. I'm gonna go on ahead and I will say, Patah, if you wanted to come up. Matter of fact, you're probably on Facebook. You said got a gun. Where's that? Got a gun taken over a lie while working armed security. Doran Shaver. Look, I tell people all the time, if you are a armed security officer, that firearm is to remain in your holster. I don't care what the company says. You do not pull out that gun under any circumstances other than to protect yourself in a situation where you have no problems going to jail or no problems going to hell, just to protect yourself. If it ain't that serious, don't pull it out. And definitely don't pull it out to protect the bank's money. Don't pull it out to protect any property. You are a visual deterrent. That is what they are paying you for. You are a visual deterrent. That's it. That's all. That is it. That's all. I'm not saying you did right. I get it. Never left the holster. I get it. Dude, I'm not getting into no conflict. I don't want it. I don't want it. Now, yeah. You said you come up on YouTube? Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I definitely want you to come up. I want Patah to come up here and share his story. He has a story. And just let me know when you're ready in the comments. I'll drop the link for you to be able to come up. And his story is definitely worth listening to. And I'll wait to give the introduction until he tells me he's in a safe spot so I can drop that link so I can give the introduction. Okay. What are your thoughts on what we talked about? You know, conflict avoidance is a huge thing. I just want to thank you all for the memberships too. By the way, please consider joining this channel. I do have multiple levels. I've got member, lecturer, and associate instructor. In the memberships, there is exclusive content. Matter of fact, for those who joined lecturer and higher, there is exclusive content that I've already released, right? Already released. And those videos, you can find them. You just won't be able to watch them unless you join the membership. If you have a firearm and if you have a empty mag and some snap caps, there is a firearms handling confidence course that I've released for the lecturer and above, those members, right? And I know you may not be able to come to the class, but at least you're able to, you know, do the things that the extra training in that. Okay. I have plans on releasing even more content that I'm recording exclusively, instructional content exclusively for that membership. In fact, How many of you are in Illinois and you have desires to, I don't want to say desires, like that's a wonderful thing to be, but to take your unarmed security class or just want to get certified as an unarmed security officer just to have even the knowledge or the certification? I plan on doing a member only stream certifying people in unarmed security as well as other classes. And I'm going to do it through the membership only stream. So if you're wanting to join that, you're more than welcome, right? I have other plans too. So you can see the perks once you decide to join. Deanna says, while neither had to de-escalate, many don't take or think about the consequences of not doing so. That's exactly correct. You are not wrong at all. You are absolutely correct. I mean, they didn't have to de-escalate, but you should, right? I talk about timers all the time. You walk up to somebody, how do you know the timer? You said you're in. Thank you, Cooler. I appreciate that. How do you know the timer that's on a person? How do you know the timer that's on a person? You know, you walk up to a person or you walk up to a device and you see that when you walk up to that device, you got 15 seconds. Are you going to defuse it or are you going to run? Someone trying to defuse it. You don't have time. You don't have time. So the best thing for you to do is to run. Now that's on a device, right? What are the signals on a person, both verbal and nonverbal communication, that you don't have time to negotiate, that you got to leave that scenario. You got to leave that blast radius of that situation. Sometimes people want to talk when you don't have time. Sometimes people want to talk to a person when the antennas to receive the signal of your communication are not there. You got to be able to recognize that stuff. Conflict avoidance is not just a desire that we wish everybody would do or should do. Those are skills. And if you don't have the eyes for what you're seeing, the ears for what you're hearing, you're not going to recognize the timer on that person that person is showing you. And you're going to begin to talk facial expressions and body language. Also words. Thank you, Vondrell. Also words. Words. Let me tell you something. The minute somebody starts using titles like labels, calling you a narcissist, calling you a gaslighter, calling you what? A batterer, calling you, I'm afraid of you. You got to listen for those things that they are saying. The minute someone immediately goes to labeling without even really getting to understand you, that is the telltale sign, or one of the telltale signs. You need to get out the blast radius. This person doesn't want to understand you, or they may not have the education to understand you. They are afraid of you. I'm not saying they have a reason to be afraid of you, but they are afraid of you. You don't have time. You cannot negotiate with a person like this until they get the knowledge, skills, abilities, confidence, and competence to be able to negotiate with you. Yes, Bondrell, key phrases, and I often hear of circumstances and situations where people get in things and they don't have the eyes or the ears for what I immediately saw. Yeah, that was a quick timer, but you wanted to get your point off. You just had to say this thing. You just had to say it. And because you just had to say it, it cost you in the long run. Okay. I'm still waiting for him to pull over. If you are interested in the Illinois concealed carry class, I do have one this weekend. If you are interested in the Illinois concealed carry class, I do have one this weekend. Okay. I do have one this weekend. If you're interested, 773-644-5000. Text the word, the letters CCL, 773-644-5000. What's going on? Patah, you must be driving on Lakeshore Drive. Oh, yes, those key phrases, they are very important to pay attention to. Very important to pay attention to. Let me go on ahead and pull up what I was going to pull up until he does get into a better position. Okay, what's going on? Let's see. I was going to teach. Oh, wait. I'm all the way in California, but would love to attend. Thank you. I appreciate you, Shanika. I hope I said your name right. All right, here we go. Until Patah comes up, we're going to go on ahead and teach on police and the rule of law. You all going to think that you're going to college course of some sort. We're going to go on ahead and teach on that. Okay. All right, here we go. Police and the rule of law. And of course, I'm using one of my textbooks that I used when I was a criminal justice professor teaching on that stuff. So we're talking about police and the court's critical questions. Should surveillance techniques be employed to secure information? How can information be gathered to support a request for a search warrant? If the suspect is driving a vehicle, can the car be searched without a warrant? Can a suspect's phone be tapped or her conversations recorded? How many of y'all think that these are pretty interesting questions? You said I said your name correctly. Good deal. Good deal. Thank you for that. How many of y'all think these are interesting questions? All right. Are you liking where it's going already? You want me to continue? I'm going to make this like free college education. I know I asked the question, how many of you all wanted to attend college-like courses without the degree, without the, you just want the education. Okay, so that's what I'm going to go on ahead and kind of make this channel into. Let's go on ahead and push. Is there reasonable suspicion to justify stopping and frisking a suspect? Can a legal arrest be made? If the suspect has been detained, what constitutes an appropriate interrogation? Can a witness be brought in to identify the suspect? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about search and seizure. What are you all's thoughts about search? You ready? All right. I'm going to go on ahead and continue, Patah. Just hang tight. I got you for a minute. Let me go on ahead and remove this banner. Matt, we'll keep it going. All right, here we go. So the Fourth Amendment controls searches and seizures, okay? For those of you all who don't know what the Fourth Amendment states the right of the people to be secured in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, particularly describing the place to be searched or the persons or things to be seized, right? So it contains two parts. The reasonableness clause, right? The search has to be reasonable. And the warrants clause that there are certain doctrines when it comes down to warrantless searches. Plain view, if I am in the lawful place where I am allowed to be and I see something I have a lawful right to see, or it's in plain view, I can immediately grab that thing, right? It can't be something that I have to do more inspection by way of checking records and things like that. It has to be readily apparent that this thing is illegal. The fresh pursuit, plain smell has certain provisions, things like that. We're talking about warrantless, but outside of those things, any place where there isn't a requirement for any type of deep introspection or anything like that, it must be a warrant. And filing a warrant, you go before a detached and neutral magistrate who's supposed to be detached and neutral from the case, who's able to look at it objectively to determine whether or not there is probable cause for the issuance of a warrant. And there's the particularity requirement of that warrant too. If we're looking for a TV, you can't look in a cup because a cup will not contain a TV, right? So if you're looking for a body, you can only look for places where bodies can be. But one of the most, I don't want to say intrusive, if you will, but search warrants are search warrants for narcotics. Search warrants for narcotics, any place where narcotics can be, it's open season. It's fair game, right? So in defining a search, what is not a search, according to the Fourth Amendment, abandoned property, open fields, flyovers, right? Flyovers, open fields, it's accessible to the public, right? So if it's accessible to the public, it could be accessible to the police. Abandoned property, once you've abandoned that property, trash pools, definitely something in narcotics. Trash pools, right? Once you discard that trash into the trash can, even if the trash is near the curtilage of your property, you are considered to have abandoned that. In narcotics, we used to do trash pools all the doggone time, all the time when it comes down to that, okay? So let's go ahead and push. All right, here we go. In defining arrest, an arrest is a seizure under the Fourth Amendment. And an arrest occurs when a police officer takes a person into custody or deprives a person of freedom for having allegedly committed a criminal offense. Now, this has been the subject of debate. So here we go. Deanna, you asked a very good question. What exactly does detached mean? Are you saying not the district the warrant was for? So are we talking about detached in terms of when I say detached and neutral? Because in the context of that, detached and neutral simply means that the judge is detached from the given case. In other words, they don't really have a stake in it. There's no conflict of interest. And I'll give you a case in point. So let's just say you have a judge who sees the name of the defendant and recognizes the defendant because they were their attorney at one point in time. So that is detached. That's not detached. You know, you had previous dealings with this person so as to avoid the appearance of any conflict of interest, because there could be alleged that there's a conflict of interest. What you will have is a judge recuse themselves, and they will get someone who doesn't recognize the name. This person is just, I'm a lawyer, state's a lawyer, public defender's a lawyer, but I'm detached from this because that's the role that I have to play. I don't know the defendant. I don't have a stake in this one way or another, if you will. In fact, the judge is supposed to, if anything, protect the rights of the accused against overzealous prosecution, things like that. Supposed to be a balancing act, if you will. So by detached, that's what we're referring to. And you just confirmed that's what you were asking about. Let me do a sidebar real quick. Patama, get to you in one quick minute. How many of y'all find value in these kinds of lectures? Do you want me to do more of these? Because I got a lot of PowerPoint slides. I got a lot of, I just teach criminal justice on YouTube. A lot of stuff. Do y'all find value in this stuff? And I want to give you more valuable content. I don't want this just to be just a channel that talks about guns, right? If you look at the description in my channel, it wasn't just a channel that just talks about guns. We're analyzing police cases. We're talking about search and seizure, things like that. And I'm authorized to do it because, I'm a former criminal justice professor, have my master's degree, qualified to teach in the colleges and stuff like that, have taught in the colleges. So I just want to know if this was stuff that you all see as valuable. You do? Okay, good. All right, so let's go ahead with a few more slides, and I'm going to bring up Brother Patah here. Here we go. So let's talk about search warrants, okay? The reason why I bypassed these two, that's the video, but it's not going to play, not through what I have been going through, okay? What are search warrants? You said we even talked about family. Yes, we even talked about family, for sure. So let's go ahead and push. Here we go. So what are search warrants? A search warrant is an order issued by a judge directing officers to conduct a search of specified premises for specified objects. Remember, I just talked about that. We were talking about the specificity or the particularity requirement in search warrants, right? And it has to be reasonable. If we're looking for stereo, we have to look in places where stereo equipment would be. And I would tell you, as a former affiant in a search warrant, we have to not only, when we write out our search warrants, we have to not only talk about the thing or the circumstances that lead to the belief that we believe a person has something, but we also have to talk about our experience, our qualifications in the search warrant affidavit. And the person who's applying for that search warrant is known as the affiant. In order to be able to get a search warrant, at least in Cook County, Illinois, you have to go before a state's attorney, and the state's attorney has to review it to make sure it meets, because obviously this would ultimately be their case to try, right? And so they have to give approval before you even go before a judge, okay? When you continue to look at it, here we go. An arrest warrant is an order issued by a judge directing officers to arrest a particular individual. Now, there are warrants, and then there are serviceable or non-serviceable warrants. There's always geographic limitations in warrants. So let's give you a case in point. So let's just say you were arrested for a misdemeanor and you were supposed to appear in court. Judge, especially let's say you DUI. If you were arrested for certain misdemeanors, the judge could issue an arrest warrant, but usually it's going to be a deposit bond that's attached to that. you got to post a bond, and then you're given a new court date where you have to appear. Typically, if it's a felony, it's no bond. You're arrested, and you got to appear before the judge, things like that. You got your bench warrants issued from the bench. You've got your parole warrants whenever there's a parole violation. You've got certain warrants that are serviceable in certain counties, but not serviceable in other counties, things like that. What's up, Raymond? How are you? So there are a variety of different kinds of arrest warrants, okay? Let's go ahead and push to a couple more slides. Like I said, I'm going to bring Patai up because he has an interesting story that he's going to share with you. I'm going to drop the link right now, and you can come in the back channel, and then I'll bring you up shortly. And you're more than welcome to share this. Please share this. Oh, sorry about that. All right, I just dropped the link. I know because you can only come up in YouTube. Facebook is weird like that for some reason. All right, so let's go ahead and push. Here we go. So this is a typical type of search warrant form. Now, this is a search warrant form that's at the federal level. Okay, the federal level. You see it says United States District Court. You would typically have a location, in this case, where we are in Cook County, Northern District of Illinois. In the matter of the search warrant of, right, on the left-hand side, you will see the search warrant. And then whenever there is a, what evidence or proceeds are found in that, typically within 96 hours, you got to serve that search warrant. And you have to return whatever proceeds during that time, or the return of those things, the inventory, if you will, whatever was taken, it has to go back before the judge so that the judge can see that the search warrant was effected. And these are the things that were found. Okay. So yeah, pretty much those same type of information. Let's go ahead and push. Warrant requirements. Warrants are required in two key situations. You said still waiting on that video of what firearms are legal in Chicago, Mike. All right, got it. Here we go. Warrants are required in two key situations: arrests and searches in private homes or on specific types of private property, and arrest for minor offenses committed out of view of the arresting officers. So you may notice that there have been times where if you call the police or you've gone to the police station and you've reported certain things to the police, you may find that one option that they will probably give you, you said, is that what they used to search Mar-a-Lago? I'm sure it was way more in-depth than what I showed on there, because you're talking about Donald Trump. You're also talking about the office of the president. Well, he's not the president anymore, but the office he represented. It's a lot of political stuff that goes on in that. So I would argue that search warrant affidavit had to have been long. And the search warrant, see, the search warrant itself, it's long, but not as long as the affidavit, right? Arrest for minor offenses committed out of view of the arresting officer. So if you go to the police station and you want to file charges against someone, they would probably tell you to go to the state's attorney's office, give them that information, and swear out an arrest warrant, if you will, to where the person can be arrested by the police for the commission of that offense. Patai, it must be hot. It must be hot. You got your muscle man t-shirt. Oh my God. Let me do a couple more of these slides. I'm watching you in the back. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Three requirements that must be secured before a warrant can be secured, or must be met before a warrant can be secured. I'll read to you. I'll read that in a minute, Richard. Here we go. 1, probable cause. 2, neutral and detached magistrate. And like I said before, 3, particularity, right? Probable cause, right? Probable cause is listed as the facts and circumstances known to the officer at the time of the arrest, right? And I would argue that the level of probable cause for a search warrant can vary depending upon the case that you're talking about. And so there's a lot of other case law that determines what is probable cause, but it's typically a low standard, not your more likely than not, or clear and convincing as you would see in other cases. But this is just probable cause, right? Probable cause, facts and circumstances known to the officer at the time of arrest. Detached and neutral magistrate, we already discussed that before. And the particularity requirement, we discussed that as well. Okay, so let's go to it. Probable cause, usually defined as a reasonable belief based on the fact that a crime has been committed and that the person, place, or object to be searched and or seized is linked to the crime with a reasonable degree of certainty. I used to love writing narcotic search warrants. Okay, writing narcotic search warrants. It's a lot of detail that goes into that, but it sucks when you get burned by your CI. Oh my God, I remember that. I remember that so well. Here we go. Sources of information for probable cause include firsthand knowledge, informants, anonymous tips, and telephone tips. Judges are considered to be neutral and detached unless a judge identifies themselves as, this person was my client. Because of that, I have to recuse myself because I don't want any, obvious, things of impropriety. Here we go. And but the particularity requirement. This is concerned with specifically naming the items to be seized pursuant to a search, or specifically naming the individual to be arrested pursuant to an arrest warrant. That's the particularity requirement. Procedural steps, knock and announce. Now, this has come under a lot of controversy when it comes to knock and announce. You remember the knock and announce with Breonna Taylor, right? Breonna Taylor, knock and announce with that. Well, I'm sorry, that was a no knock. Knock and announce, that is typically the case when it comes down to things that you may be looking for that could be hard to conceal. People you may be looking for that might be hard to conceal, but you got all the entrances and exits covered, right? But where you see your no-knock warrants are places where the evidence could likely be destroyed, and the announcement would cause that evidence to be destroyed. And you'll find this in narcotic search warrants because typically, in my experience, whenever there's a narcotic, first of all, there are those houses that are heavily fortified. So trying to get in, it definitely takes a SWAT response, not one of those, TAC team responses, but it takes a SWAT response, even though a TAC team could do it, but it depends on the investigation of how the structure looks from the outside. But one of the first places people like to go when they want to get rid of narcotics is the toilet, toilet, sink, stuff like that. So depending upon the structure and how it looks, how easy it would be or harder it would be to get inside safely to be able to secure any evidence that might be inside, that could be a reason, especially if you have the blueprints and the plans and the subject matter expertise as to how hard this might be. That could be a factor for a judge to consider in the issuance of a no-knock warrant. Keep property damage to a minimum. This is a tough one. It depends on what you're looking for, especially if it's narcotics. Anything's fair game, right? Use appropriate force, definitely something that you want to take into consideration, but that could be dependent too. All right, here we go. Richard Kent says, I had 15 to 17 police officers, guns out on me, and 3 others in the car 3 years ago. Me, 3 people of color, and my people and some girls wanted to get my attention, but I didn't pay them no mind. They called the police on my car saying I was being kidnapped by the 3 people with me, and all the cops were rolling up on us. I had to tell them, you put your hands on the back of the car. Said they were in the back and I was in the driver's seat, and I pulled over and the police got guns out on me. And I can't read the rest of your comment. It is very, very long. You got to keep your comments short if you want me to read them, Richard, but I do appreciate the value of what you just said. You said that was 1975. It really happened. We are still alive today. Young man and everyone else online reading it here too. Thumbs up. I want to read the rest of that, but I didn't see the rest of that. So kind of keep it short, please. All right. No attention to time constraints within search warrant, pay attention to time constraints within search warrant, typically 96 hours, limit scope and manner of searches. In other words, looking for a TV, you're not looking inside of the bathroom, not the bathroom, but the actual toilet bowl, right? If you're looking for something that's the size of a dime, then you can look for a place where things that are a size of a dime are. You said, do I represent civil cases? I'm not a lawyer. I am not a lawyer. It says it across there. I am not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. I am just lecturing as a criminal justice lecturer. Okay, so that's what this is. And then no reporters allowed. Yeah, this this is definitely the case, but you don't want reporters there on the scene. Okay. All right, let me bring up Patah. Sorry about that. Ugh. All right, here we go. Patah, I'm gonna bring you up, but I'm gonna still say this one part. There we go. I'm gonna still bring you up. But I'm gonna,
all right, bro.
It's like a structure. Okay, good. That's better. There we go. Yeah. So warrantless searches and arrest. The Supreme Court has carved out some significant exceptions to the warrant requirement in the Fourth Amendment, including exigent circumstances. So exigent circumstances are things like hot pursuit, fresh pursuit. In other words, police officers happen to be walking by. They are on patrol, and they hear, using plain hear, okay, help, help, he's about to kill me. That's an exigent circumstance, right? They can go on ahead and breach the door. They don't need a warrant because they're responding to the call for help. That is one case of exigent circumstances. Stop and frisk. Stop and frisk is pursuant to Terry versus Ohio, 392 U.S. 1. That is the United States Supreme Court case that talks about the ability to be able to stop a person if you have reasonable grounds to stop them. Reasonable grounds is less than probable cause. Reasonable ground, I got a hunch, right? I'm just acting on a suspicion based upon maybe facts in certain circumstances that give me rise to believe that a person is about to commit a crime or has committed a crime, and to pat the outer garments of a person's clothing for any weapons or contraband, things they may have on their person. Now, there have been some cases that have come up under controversy for stop and frisk being used under the plain field doctrine, right, to feel what it feels like narcotics. Well, what does narcotics feel like? It could be a balled up piece of paper, right? Now, if you're talking about certain things like marijuana, the active ingredient or one of the active ingredients in it, tetrahydrocannabinol, right, or other type of ingredients that could give off the smell, you could use the feel in combination with the smell. A plain feel on its own, you're gonna have a problem with that. And especially if you are in states where marijuana is illegal, where it's legal for personal consumption. Now, at the federal level, marijuana is still a Schedule I narcotic, right? But at the state level, it's legal. Okay, so you got to be careful on that. Searches incident to a lawful arrest. We call these inventory searches, stuff like that if you're talking about cars. But anytime we do a search incident to a lawful arrest, it doesn't violate the Fourth Amendment because police are considered to have already seized this person. Of course, that has to be proven before a judge, and the state will be put to their proof. But insofar as the law looks at it, you've already been lawfully seized until shown otherwise. So they do have the right to pat you down, make sure you have no weapons or contraband, anything that's going to hurt them, stab them, stick them, poke them, stuff like that. Automobile searches. Automobile is considered to be a thing that can, take off. There's case law that covers that. So because of the way that the automobile can, in fact, take off and flee from the sightseeing area of custody or the control of a police officer, the Supreme Court has carved out some significant exceptions to this. Consent searches. If you give consent, we search. Don't give consent, circumstances depend. Searches based on plain view. We talked about that before. And crimes committed in the officer's presence, right? These are what we call on-view arrest, on-view actions, okay? All right, little mini criminal justice lecture. Hope you found value in that. Patah, got to bring you up. What's going on, man?
What's up, brother Mike?
All right, okay, here we go. So, a lot of people talk about carjackings. What they would do if they were involved in a carjacking. Practical Ken, what's going on? What would they do if they were involved in a carjacking? Well, my friend here, Patah, he was involved in that. And I don't want to give it away because this is definitely a conversation that needs to be had. I wish it were being had on a larger level. I wish people would have still hung out for this conversation, but we're still going to have it because it has a lot of value in that. Oh, sorry about that. So if you want to, hold on a minute. Sorry about that. That was crazy. If you want to go ahead, kind of tell them your experience and what you went through.
Man, Man, thanks. First of all, man, thank you for, man, inviting me on your platform, bro. I really, really appreciate you. Last Monday, August 13th, around, it was about 1:45 a.m. I was just finished working. I had parked my vehicle in the city, and while I was getting my personal things together, I noticed a vehicle pull up and park 2 cars ahead of me. So it was a van behind me, it was a vehicle in front of me, and the individuals pulled up in front of that car in front of me. And so I just kept my eye on them. I'm like, okay, it's a block. It's like any other block that got apartment buildings on it. I'm thinking, okay, these guys about to go in the house or whatever. So an individual, he exited the passenger door, front door, and he was coming my way up the curve on the passenger side. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay. And as he got close, I mean, he had a hoodie on. I didn't notice he didn't have a mask on, but as he got to the back door, or, the back door almost toward by the bumper of the car that was in front of me, he was kind of crouched. And I noticed, man, the guy had a mask on. Black hoodie, black mask, about 6 feet, 6'1", real thin build. But the thing that really caught my eye was that the guy was like this, with a gun aimed at aimed at me. I didn't have any time to think. Like, my first reaction was to get out the car. So might have, that's what I did. When I saw the gun and he said, "Lower that shit," I heard him I heard him. He was like, "Lower that shit." My immediate reaction was to get out the car. So that's what I did, man. I exited the car with the car running. The car was still running, lights off. And I ran, man. The guy chased me for about a quarter of a block. He never shot the gun, but the time he was behind me, he just kept saying, "Stop, lower that shit." And as God is my witness, man, I was running so fast, man. I ran up out of my left shoe, and I fell. Man. I'm still, hey, bro, I'm still traumatized. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I fell. And all I could think of, even when I was running, this guy finna shoot me. He finna shoot me in the back. He finna shoot me. He finna shoot the gun. I was anticipating the gun shots. Not necessarily them hitting me, but it wasn't far to my mind, man. So after I fell, I could still hear the guy. I instantly thought, man, this guy finna be standing over me with this gun. And as I got up, I stumbled. It's like I was telling you, all of y'all that ever, like I was telling Mike, any of y'all that watched the Friday the 13th movies with Michael and Jason Voorhees Halloween, and you see usually it's a Caucasian woman that's falling. No, that's just what it is. That's real shit. That's real shit, man. You can't fall. and I fell, man. So I stumbled. I got myself back up with one shoe. The guy still hadn't. He wasn't over me, man. So I kept running, man. I didn't hear him talking no more, screaming, telling me to stop running, get that shit up. So I stopped. turned around, he wasn't there. So I'm like, damn. I'm like, what was, man, this is real. Like, damn, I just got carjacked. So I ran back, I jogged back to the car. I jogged back to the block. But not, at a distance where I could still have space. And I saw it was two guys. Now it was a guy in this car right here. It was a guy all up in had the driver door open because I left it open. But the guy that was chasing me, he was at the back of the car, and he saw me, and he took off towards me again, and I ran again. But I had so much space. I was about 100 feet, 150 feet away from him, so I just took off again. And I'm like, damn. Like, my house keys was in the car, driver's license, had some cash, had a tablet and a phone. So I'm like, damn, I can't even go in the house. I had this phone in my hand. And I'm like, damn, I can't even get in the house because I left my keys. Because I had on jogging pants. About me getting in and out the car all day, I have lost keys, I lost ID, so I don't even, when I have jogging pants, I usually just keep them in the door.
Right.
And,
yeah.
So this the third time I went back to the car after he chased me off the second time. The car was still there. The car was still running. They left left the back open, the trunk. So I'm like, damn, I looked around, because I don't even know what kind of car they put in. I just saw the car pull up. I was paying attention, but I wasn't paying attention. But the whole thing was I didn't never take my eye off the car. I never took my eye off the car because it's 1:45 in the morning.
Right.
And so man, I jumped in the car and before that happened, I dialed 911. As I'm walking back to the car the third time, calling 911. Operator answers. Hey, I just got robbed. Where are you? I'm at so-and-so intersection. Okay, where are you exactly, sir? I'm at so-and-so and so-and-so intersection. Where are you, sir? God damn it, I'm at woo. The 911 dispatch hung up on me. Dispatcher, she hung up in my face. So I'm really like, what the F, man? So I go down the street. There's usually always some police sitting where I live at, down a few blocks away. So I go down there with them, jump out the car and tell them what happened. They asked me, could I describe the individual? No, I couldn't. I just know he had a black mask, black hoodie. What kind of car? No, I don't know. Can I file a police report? You got to go to the precinct to do that. That's what the officers told me. It was it probably was I don't know if he was Hispanic or white, and a black officer. So they asked me, what was I going to do? I was like, man, I need to go home. So they asked me, did I want them to follow me back home? Hell yes. I want you to follow me back home. Matter of fact, you can follow me in the building. I ain't telling them, but yes, I need you to follow me home. So they was real professional, courteous, and they followed me home. They blocked the street off like no one could come up the street until I got my stuff, man. And I went in the house, made a call. I didn't stay there that night. I didn't stay at home that night. Matter of fact, I didn't stay there for 2 nights. I grabbed some things and I went over a friend's house, man. And that's what happened to me, man. And bro, it's like, I'm 52 years old, man. I've been working out since I've been 12 years old, almost 40 years, bro. So every time I work out, I run a mile. And I kind of joked about this on my platform, on my little page. I like, hey man, you might have to run one day.
And you did that.
And I did that. I used to wrestle. I can fight, man. But this wasn't time to fight. I wasn't trying to negotiate with them or nothing. My instinct was to get out of this car. It's like you said the other day, a car is a coffin. And even before you said that, bro, I just didn't want to get caught in this car, and especially by me seeing that it was two guys when I came back. And I'm just blessed, man. I just thank God, bro, that I'm in decent physical condition where I could run. And the other thing is that they didn't pull up right on the side of me where I could not exit this door. If they would have pulled right up on me, it was nothing for me to do, man. So,
right.
I just did what you say, bro. Create space. I tried to create as much space. What you call spatial awareness or something, you know?
Yeah, situational awareness, but
situational awareness. Create space, man. And I was aware.
Yeah.
You know, I was just aware, man. Luckily, I wasn't doing like this. If I was doing like this in the phone, and like, oh yeah, them just some dudes. If I was like this in this phone, bro, one fraction of a second,
they would have got you.
He would have got me, bro.
Yeah, they would have got you big. Yeah.
I just encourage you all, man, to keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah.
All the time. Right now, bro. Even the other day, I got some gas. I was on 43rd in the Dan Ryan. I went to the gas station right there, and I just pulled out on Wentworth, whatever that is, right there. And the guy, he wasn't doing nothing, but he pulled up in front of me. I put my car in drive and drove immediately. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm still traumatized by that, bro.
Yeah.
I'm still traumatized by that, man.
Yeah. And Shanika Renee said, this is a testimony. I will sit here and tell you this. When you told me that, I'm gonna type in the comments, y'all, what my normal response is. Look, you remember I did this, dude? Look, I said, here we go. You ready?
Yeah, you did.
Usually when I type that in the comments, I'm like, you ready? But I was like, you know what? Come and think of it. Even if you had it, there was really nothing you could do.
Nothing I could do.
Nothing you can do. And see, the thing is, that's why I'm glad that you came on here. And of course, we've talked before, and you said you wouldn't mind sharing, because I want people to understand that the gun is not a cure-all or a fixer of every type of situation that you would be in. Sometimes first of all, the best weapon is the 6 inches between your ears. That's number one. Number two, right? You are still a man by saying, look, I was scared. That fear in me, look, gone. Because that is the thing that will keep you in a percentage of circumstances. It will definitely keep you alive. You gotta have realistic self-esteem. You gotta have that realistic understanding that this firearm that I carry every day is only part of the solution. It may not be the whole solution for every situation. You know, and I know you to be wise enough to not pull out your firearm if you had a firearm. But how many people rely heavily on the firearm? We ain't gotta run no more. We ain't gotta I'm gonna go ahead and pop. And next thing you know, you pulled it out and forced an instinctive shooting, not an intentional one. As what happened to, respectfully, police officer Ariana Preston. Those boys had been robbing and carjacking folks all day using live guns. Now one shot fired. Then they get to her, and she instinctively pulls her firearm against so-called criminals and paid the ultimate sacrifice because someone probably did not teach her when to play possum. when to play victim. You know, and that's important. We can still sit here and say thoughts and prayers, your life mattered, but no one taught you how to play victim. And I think that your story is, because in my opinion, you are no one's victim, right? But it's okay to play that card. And I'm not saying you're playing that card. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to play that card to get you to a position of advantage where you survive.
Yep. Yeah. I was even thinking, bro, even if I had a gun, if he would have saw me with the gun, he probably would have started shooting. He probably would have started shooting as soon as I got out the car. And say if I just had the gun in my hand and I fell, now he got the gun. It just could have went. It just could have went bad, bro. Cause it was no time for me to, even if I had a gun, well, I'm gonna just start shooting through the windshield. No, my man, I'm telling you what, it was like breathing. It was like blinking, bro. Get out this car. I was out of this car, man. Like, you're gonna have to catch me and shoot me in the back, in the legs. I just had to get away from him.
Yes.
I just wanted to get the hell away from him, man. I don't care what nobody say. Oh, you a punk, you why you ain't stay there? No. I wasn't trying to talk to him. What's up, brother? And all, no. Because that wasn't no brother. That wasn't no brother right there, man.
Right.
So I just wanted to get the hell away from him, man, and I thank God. I guess, yeah, okay. I'm just looking at, man. I'm just like real on my. I'm on my shit, bro. Bro. Hey, I just wanted to get away, bro, and I just thank God, because that was God, bro. God held his hand, not to shoot. I think about that too. God held his hand for him not to pull the trigger. I don't even know if it was a real gun. I wasn't trying to find out. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to find out, man. So I just thank God, bro. And I thank brothers like yourself, man, that, I listen to you, bro. And the things that you say, the things that you not say, the things that you educate us about, man, are just about your posts, man. Anything that you can see is your post, man. So you got to be aware.
Yeah.
You got to be, we have to be aware of whatever's going on around us, man, because this thing right here, it'll distract us, man.
Boy, it is a huge distraction. No lie.
Distraction. It's a distraction, bro. So that's my testimony, brother. And man, and like I say, that was last Monday on the 13th, and that thing got me shook, bro.
Yeah. And I bet
that thing got people riding up on the back of my car. You know how you driving and people tailgating you. Hey, bro, I'm like super aware.
Yes.
Super aware, like, man, this dude all on my ass. Like, what he finna do? What he finna? It's traumatizing, bro. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm still traumatized, bro.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. Here we go. Go through a bunch of scenarios, right? If I'm here, where would I go? Right? Keep yourself at least some distance between, right, the car that's in front of you, where I can at least see the back wheels. So that way you always give yourself an out. We'll talk because I want to kind of give you some more things to look at, as to where potentially you could ram to kind of get out of those jams, things like that. But if you look, the body cannot go where the brain has not been. Does that make sense? And so if the brain constantly gets trained on those what if scenarios, right, and you keep your situational awareness level up, because every weapon has a maximum and a minimum effective distance. Hands have a maximum and a minimum effective distance. Feet, guns, cars, all that stuff. And Raymond said it for sure. He said, that's why when I drive at least 2 cars, I leave at least 2 car links in front of me. And at a certain time of night, F them lights. Hey, Don't catch me. Don't catch me, because I'm telling you, put me in an intersection where there's no red light cameras. Now, I would never do this at Stony Island. You'll die doing that. But put me in an intersection where I'm seeing a light and I could, boy, I'm going through it. Hey, let me tell you something. I am not ashamed to say it on this live. I use my police and military training to this day. Every time I got pulled over, I've gotten pulled over by the police, and you know, I do my little thing, and then they come to me and like, you know, I don't record these stops. But then, what happened? What happened at the stop sign? You know why we don't stop at stop signs. I give you my license and insurance, but you already, because the thing is, we think ambush. We think ambush. Stay at the stoplight too long, you get ambushed, and the car is a coffin. Because if you think about a police squad, like you got, let's just say, God forbid, something happened. You could jump in your back seat, right? Jump in your back seat, get out your rear passenger seat. You're able to do that. In a police squad, it's a metal partition, you know, right there. So we in a coffin, somebody head-on collision. We caught between the car and the cage. You just better hope that thing is really reinforced to where it don't collapse on. But the villages I used to work for, man, they'll get the cars from the lowest bidder. So, you know what I'm saying? You think you in a protected car, boy, you in a standard Crown Vic. You know, fucking police in nothing. You in a standard ass Crown Vic. Or Los Angeles Police Department got bulletproof panels. Boy, you be lucky if you're panels. Probably on the inside of it's a couple of level 3A vets that's taped to the door. Dumb shit, you know what I'm saying? Work. So it's like you got to be your own savior. You got to be able to get out of that jam.
Yeah, I tell you another thing, bro. I don't wear a seatbelt. I wear a seatbelt when I'm on the highway, but usually when I'm riding up the street, I don't have a seatbelt on, brother. And the reason I don't wear a seatbelt the reason I don't wear a seatbelt is because I always feared I might have to jump out of my car, bro.
You gotta practice that stuff.
Yeah, and that night, I had my seatbelt on, you know, because what I do, but I had took it off. But you know, sometimes you'll sit, you know, I ain't gonna lie, son, you know, I sit in my car, I had a seatbelt, you know, you kind of forget you got the seatbelt on.
Yeah.
You just be sitting there with the seatbelt on. So even the time to unbuckle the seatbelt, that's time. Luckily, I didn't have that seatbelt on, bro, just sitting in the car, because I'd have had to unbuckle the seatbelt, grab the door. So, you know, I know how, you know, seatbelts save lives, man, but
I get it.
You don't know what you're gonna do. I'll just say this, Brian, trying to hold you out. Man, brother, it's like I told you, I grew up on the west side, man. I've been around guns and all that, you know, in the streets. I've witnessed shootouts and been in some. But I never had no one come up on me like that. I never had that happen in the 52 years I've been living, bro. And I didn't know how I was going to react if that ever happened. It's like you say, you ready? You know what I'm saying? I just thank God I was ready, bro. I didn't freeze. I didn't go into shock like, you know what I'm saying? When I saw that gun, bro, run.
And you had the time. And you had the time to be able to do that. Now I will give you one thing. Have you ever had a seatbelt extender?
No, I don't even know what that is.
I'll show you what that is. They got them on sale at AutoZone. In fact, Marquise, those of y'all who remember Marquise from P6 Firearms Training, who has been on this channel before and will be back on his channel, he's talked about the seatbelt extender. That was one of the greatest things that he has recommended for me, is to have a seatbelt extender, because it puts the buckle where it's not by your side, it puts the release mechanism almost like right here to where you got the seatbelt on. But if you got to get out of there, it's a simple pop right here. And then the seatbelt extended, the seatbelt just comes off and you're out of there.
Okay.
Yeah, you out of there. So
okay.
Yeah, we'll go through some things. Through some things that you could use. Yeah, for sure. But I see you in the car, so I don't want you to stay right there.
You see me looking.
Yeah.
I think I'm in the same space where I'm looking like a boy.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Julia said seatbelts can be deadly in a car crash. I understand what you're saying, but seatbelts saved my life. I was in a car crash where I hit the back of a semi truck, flipped once, and rolled twice.
Right.
And a seatbelt saved me. So I don't know. I get what some people saying, but seatbelts do save lives, man. I mean,
seatbelts do save lives, bro. No doubt. Seatbelts do save lives.
Yeah, sometimes they take them, but most times they save them. Because I was on a police chase, chasing after somebody suspected narcotics. Right, it was wet gravel. I didn't pay attention to the fact that it was wet. I'm sitting here like, had it not been for that seatbelt, I'd have been flown from the police car onto I-57 southbound. Yeah, because I hit the tree. This is stupid. I was sitting here chasing after him, and I knew his ass was going to crash at the middle of the intersection of 127th and Kennedy. I thought his ass was going to TC because he had blew straight to that fucker. So I'm sitting here, I'm going like, all right, squad. He didn't go through, so we going pushing. And I'm like, oh, no, we're hitting, southbound Kennedy, that little bridge right before you head into Markham. So I'm sitting here going. And I'm like, oh, shit. So I lose control. I'm like, oh, no, oh, shit. And I got the picture of it. Oh, it sucked. I just knew the chief in the mayor was going to be mad at my ass. They weren't.
Right.
They weren't as mad. But that seatbelt saved me because I got out that car and I was like, 409 TC. And state police caught his ass on the E-way, and we took him into custody, charged him with a whole bunch of felony counts of DUI and some other shit. But yeah, it was something though. So yeah, I got a few more crashes I done been in.
Man, understandable, bro. Yes,
shit.
Yep.
All right, y'all. So I appreciate you sharing your story. I hope people learn from it. It's definitely one where it's very humbling that you think you know what you're going to do. Then you're faced with that situation. What would you do? And he didn't have, a deadly threat behavior modification device. That's what we're going to say from now on. Deadly threat behavior modification device.
Deadly threat modification device.
Right. We want to modify their behavior expeditiously. Right.
Right.
You said seatbelt had no give in my wreck, messed up my back band. I'm sorry to hear about that, Julia. And there are other cases of that. Coolers 675 said I don't wear mine as well till I get on the E-way because it restricts my draw. I'm telling you, if you get that seatbelt extender, you will not have draw problems. You will not have draw problems. Practical Ken says, thank you for sharing your experience. Any final thoughts? Because I know we're going to close this live out. It's been a wonderful live. Y'all got 3 lessons in one. I love it. Yep. Raymond is saying, may God cover you. Richard says, thank you.
Likewise.
Yes. Thank you for sharing this with us and glad you're still here to tell about it. Yes.
Man, God is great. God is great. That's all I can say. I just want to say, man, keep your awareness up. And if you physically able to, get yourself in shape or stay in shape, man, stay in shape, man. Yep. Stay in shape. For real. I mean, I know everybody, everybody can't run and all that, man. So, but if you can, man, stay in shape. So if you might have to run, you really might have to run one day. You know what I'm saying? You really might have to run. So just keep your head on the swivel, man. Man, and be aware. Be aware of what's going on around you.
Yep.
That's it. That's
Absolutely.
it, bro. I appreciate you, bro. Much love and respect.
Likewise. Thank you. All right.
Yep.
Thank
All right,
you.
brother Mike.
Thank you. I appreciate you. All right. All right. Here we go. Oh, sorry about that, Baton. That was a little too fast. All right. Here we go. I appreciate y'all. Firearm self-protection. You said keep your head on the swivel. For sure. For sure. Practical Ken said, I need to start getting back in shape. I am in shape. I am a shape, but I'm shaped like Grimace, and it is not the shape I want to be in. Facts. Hey, I had to start. I'm gonna tell you this. So just you cannot outwork a bad diet. You cannot outwork a bad diet. People are the collection of 5 things: needs, education, experiences, habits, and motivations. Needs, education, experiences, habits, and motivations. Raymond, we didn't get a why. We don't know why she dropped the suit. We don't know why. Don't say why. We just know she dropped it. You know why she dropped it. All right, here we go. 5 things: needs, education, experiences, habits, and motivations. If you want to start off with the weight loss stuff, you got to start with your habits. You got to start with your habits. And one habit you got to break and get better habits is what you eat, because you cannot outwork a bad diet. If you go on ahead and go to the gym and you do all that stuff, but your diet is horrible, you're not going to get nowhere. You see what I'm saying? That's the first place. Y'all seen I lost weight, right? It had a little fat face. It's smaller now. It's getting smaller, right? I'm losing weight. I had to start by fighting the fat where I gained it, in the kitchen. You got to fight the fat where you gained it, and that's in the kitchen. You got to start by, just my opinion, you ain't got to do nothing, but just my suggestion, start with eating better first. Start with learning your body, having a healthy relationship with food, all that great stuff, understanding, portions and how to eat. I'm not going on no stupid diet. I know it's not, well, I'm just starving myself. No, I'm not doing that. Yeah, getting rid of sugar. Oh my God, yes. Yes, getting rid of sugar, man, hell no. So you got to change your diet, because you don't necessarily have to work out. You got to eat. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to, but your body needs nourishment. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, I definitely cut the fast food. Yeah, definitely cut the fast food. Hell no, I can't even do it. I can't even do it. I cannot even do it. Right? So just changing up certain things like what you eat. Okay. And so that's worked for me. That's what worked for me. And then starting to add the workout component is going to accelerate that. But that's just me. Whatever works for you. You got to see a dietitian. It's just my suggestion. Whatever the case may be, you gotta change that food. I'm telling you, you go ahead and get your butt in the gym. Tomorrow, some new year, new me. Lose all that physical motivation to get hurt, to be the same you, right? Fruits and vegetables, number 1. Yes, man. Look, junk food is a sometime food. It's not an all the time food. I'm big on my fruits and vegetables, man. I already loved eating fruits and vegetables. I just didn't have the habit of eating them. So I just developed a habit of eating them. Oh my God, I love some vegetables. Love them. All right, so for those of y'all who gave the membership, Deanna, Shanika Renee, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for becoming a YouTube member. Dale Jackson, again, thank you very much for becoming a YouTube member of the Instructor Mike channel. I appreciate that. You said, oh, I hear you, brother, but ain't nothing like an ice cold glass and a sweating glass of cold Pepsi. But there are other alternatives. Deanna said, I wish that farmers markets would be normalized. Yes. Right. Yes. Now, you are correct, William. Fruits got a limit because it's got natural sugars. I don't eat a lot of fruits, but I definitely eat a lot of vegetables. A lot of vegetables. Ooh, and they taste so good when they cook right. Man, they taste so good when they cook right. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Richard. I appreciate that. You said, young man. I said, I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. All right. This is Instructor Mike, and you've been trained. Please consider becoming a member of this channel. Like I said, I put out some exclusive content for those who are members. I'm definitely going to keep the lecturing up, right? But I want to bring the lectures to the members only section, right? I want to do the live streams for other panel talks and stuff like that. But the lectures where you're actually getting your criminal justice lecture content, I want that to be in the members only lives. The members only lives. That's where I want that to be, in the members only lives. Because there's got to be benefits to membership, right? Yeah, and the seatbelt extended. We'll go ahead and have that too as well. Okay. I appreciate that. Like, comment, subscribe. It's all good. We're out. Peace.
What's going on, you? This is Instructor Mike. You can follow me on Facebook at Mike Brown or Instructor Mike. Follow me on.
It could be you as a citizen, and you walked up and you see somebody.
It look heavy? I don't know.
Special, that must be. But it's good to know that this can handle the high pressure rounds of the flooding.
Ready to go.
Make eye contact with me. He's still trying to get it open a couple of times.
So